Donor and the Chief Financial Officer, Mekutwano Patudi, will be joining us in a short while. With that being said, I will hand over now to the MEC to read the statement for the media. Thank you, MEC.
Thank you very much, and that Alf, greetings to Head of the Department, CFO, to the Chief Director responsible for transport operation, Dr. Hans Kekana, Head of the Department. Importantly, you members of the media present today. Let me greet the residents of the Northwest seated at home. Good morning. We call you this morning to update you on the measures we are putting in place to address the challenges experienced in the provision of scholar transport service. There had been many challenges that scholar transport experienced. We had to implement these measures to deal with them. These measures include establishing what we call war room, led by HOD, to resolve problems as they arise, and we work together closely with our sister department, which is the Department of Education. When the current contract began, we had 446 operators, and that were in the service level agreement. There are compliance clauses which guide steps to be taken when there are contraventions. The contravention as per the SLA include, amongst others, unroadworthy buses, failure to transport learners, and endangering the safety of the learners. As we speak now, we have already terminated 90 operators for one or more of the above contravention that I've mentioned. On the day of payments, we had received 928 invoices, and to date, 552 have been processed. We experienced a system failure which affected processing of payments. As a result, we have requested Treasury to allow us to disburse 2 payments per week instead of 1. We are now disbursing payments on Tuesday and Fridays. We have already had 2 meetings with operators to explain challenges experienced. We are continuing with this engagement to keep the operators abreast so that learners do not suffer. As part of intervention to ensure that operators are paid within stipulated 30-day period, we are implementing a system used at national government called Reapatal. It is an invoice tracking system that will assist us to quickly track and address areas where invoices get delayed. We are currently using a manual invoice tracking system which is problematic and prone to errors. One other problem with the manual system is that we are unable to see where there are delays in the value chain. Reapatala will be monitored daily and will assist in expediting payments once invoices are captured. Challenges experienced are regretted, but we do all we can to ensure that there are no further delays in processing payments. As has already indicated, engagement with operators is ongoing. We would also like to express our profound thanks to the operators for continuing to transport learners in spite of delay in payments. Thank you very much.
Thank you, MEC. Colleagues, that gives us now an opportunity to field questions from the media. As we normally do, we will raise the hand. Once recognized, then you would introduce yourself with the organizations the organization you are representing, and if we could try to make questions short, not convoluted preambles. Okay. Can I see other hands? Okay, I see Deboho. Oh, she will represent the, okay. Who else? All right. Ms. Boko, welcome back. I hope you are well.
Thank you so much. My name is Deborah Paketi from SABC News. If I may ask, On the delayed payments, do we know they are dating back to when? Because we understand that some of the scholar transport service providers allege that they are dating back to November, for an example. And do we have a cutoff date as to when will the department be able to pay shelter assets in Komarago? The second question, you alluded to the unroadworthy of some of these buses, something that has already also been presented before the Human Rights Commission. I just want to find out, I understand when the department gives the contract, perhaps you would be doing inspection to check if the service provider complies as far as the bus is concerned. However, some of these buses are not in good condition. So is there monitoring, beyond granting these contracts? Because what the Human Rights Commission was presented with perhaps suggests that there is no monitoring. Thanks.
I'll hand over to the ABC and the HOD.
No, thank you very much. On the delays of payment, I'll give over to CFO and cut-off date. And then on roadworthy buses, I'll give to HOD, and monitoring, I'll give to the relevant manager, Meranton.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for the question. The first question was where do invoices date back to? Most of the invoices date back to December. The reason why they were not processed is because the budget got depleted in the first quarter of the financial year. So that is what caused the major delay for the invoices that fall in the previous year before March, especially, because the March invoices are usually paid in April. With regards to the remaining, we are processing payments on daily basis, and we are pushing to ensure that we cover all the 928 that we have registered as our debt on Scholar. Our major challenge currently is the system, the bus system, because we use two systems. We use two systems, the walker system and the bus system. So on the walker system, we are able to process. And then the bus system is where payments are released, and the releasing part happens at the treasury. So we are capturing, we're in the process, so far we have captured about 552 invoices. And we capturing on a daily basis. We're also putting in more time, that is overtime, to ensure that we cover this backlog. But once, because we disburse, that is, we release payments twice a week, which is also one of the interventions. We have requested Treasury to allow us to disburse also on Tuesday, because all other departments disburse once a week. So we've been granted that permission, but for as long as the system is fine, we are fine, we are able to do that. But if the system is not functional, the invoices will remain in the system until the best system is fine. Currently, this morning, we were still not able to do any process on the bus system because it's down. But Treasury is assisting on that. I think I've covered your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, CFO. HOD.
Thank you very much, colleagues and the media. MEC, on the issue of the monitoring, there's a question, your follow-up question related to there was a question in relation to roadworthy buses. The department, through its law enforcement traffic officers on the ground, continue to monitor the situation and the state of these buses. And we have now established a dedicated team that will focus strictly on scholar transport. And that team has started doing work, and we are receiving reports. The main issue here is also to ensure that operators that are transporting learners also understand what exactly is a roadworthy bus. It's descriptive in terms of the SLA, and they know the type of bus that is required. So we've put in place a dedicated team to provide and do daily monitoring in this regard. Thank you very much.
Thank you, HOD. Okay, another question, colleagues? So we're done, Sentle? Okay.
Invoices. On,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
The invoice, I understand that what the CFO was saying was that as long as this system gives you problems, it means you'll be facing these challenges to come. Is that the case, Khotsajang? Are we only talking about the invoice they are expected to be paid? Is it if it delay? Because to me, it sounds like as long as you have this challenge, we'll still have this challenge. These intricacies of bus drivers complaining about not being paid. And that, unfortunately, is affecting on some of the learners.
Thank you. HOD.
I think just to give us clarity on what are those challenges with the bus system, what are the implications of those problems with the bus system, how will those problems then inhibit you from ensuring that all the outstanding invoices would then be processed, and isn't this then indicative of the indictment on the department that they are systematic problems that make it unable to ensure that learners have their rights conformed to? And this is clear because the public protector has been approached, the Human Rights Commission has also spoken on this. Is the department actually winning this challenge?
Thank you. HOD.
No, thank you very much. Let me start with the first part. When we process invoices as and when we receive them. And our finance team led by the CFO does that on a daily basis. And now we would have an improved operation in that regard now that we have introduced the invoice tracking system, which is the Rea Patela. The team, in fact, workshopped us the whole of last week. We have started now to use that particular, just to track and trace the invoices. In relation to the system glitches, we would have to check with our sister department, Provincial Treasury, because they are the ones that are dealing and monitoring the system. We are the users, the end users of the system. They would then provide us with a detailed response in this regard. As the CFO said, there's a new version. We've moved from bus 5 to bus 6, which is a payment system. We would load to do our part from our side and then transfer to the next part of the system where other processes ensue. So we'll continue to check with our sister department. As at this morning, they were indicating that they are dealing with the challenge. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe as we're waiting for another question, HOD, maybe you could also, because the MEC made reference to the measures that we have put in place, including the war room that the HOD is leading in terms of dealing with these challenges as and when they arise. Maybe HOD can expand on that for the benefit of colleagues.
Okay. Now, we've established a war room between ourselves and the Department of Education, shared by both HODs, myself and SG, acting SG in education. Basically, it's to troubleshoot on daily challenges, but we've got a working daily war room that meets weekly, sometimes as and when it's necessary. This one with the HODs, we meet monthly, just to receive report from the war room that is led by Merantona as the acting chief director. They deal with daily challenges on scholar transport, and we have regional directors from both education and the department meeting at that level. On daily basis, when invoices come through, the tracking system will then assist us to pick up problems and challenges and troubleshoot immediately. Thank you.
I think key to reiterate a point that a systems problem is not necessarily a departmental problem. Rather, the system is located at the provincial treasury. Be that as it may be, we are one government, and at the end of the day, we as the end user, as the Department of Community Safety, we must be able to accept the challenges that we are faced with. But just to clarify the atmosphere that the system is located at the treasury. Be that as it may be, the HOD spoke of a war room which we are making on our end as the department to make sure that we deal with the invoices as they arrive there instantly, to make sure that on our part we do not hinder the process anyhow. We do accept that learners will be able to be affected, and we have also been made this admission even at the Human Rights Commission, of which it has called us again tomorrow for us to can be able to come and account before that Chapter 9 institution, which we shall do so diligently, and where we have got shortcomings, we will be ready to accept as the department. But importantly, I will also, as the executing authority responsible for the department, meet all the service providers, which is something that I need to also communicate it so that it does not appear that there's vacuum of leadership. We have been delaying meeting with them primarily because service providers do not want to hear words from the MEC. They don't want to hear how nice the MEC speaks English. They want money in their account, period, as we agreed, so that they can render effective, efficient services to us. And importantly, they can also be able to run their businesses because they are in the business, and we've got the responsibility as the department to make sure their business is viable so that in return, they provide the service that we want. So we have agreed, myself, the HOD, and the CFO, and the Chief Director, that we need to fast-track the payments so that by the time we meet with them, it will be few remaining payments, which shall be small invoices that have got small queries that can be able to attend to, so that when we meet, we path a way forward so that we avoid the situation that we find ourselves in. Important is to push that the money literally gets into their account so that they can be able to run their business efficiently. Thank you very much.
Thanks, MEC. Thanks, MEC. Fifi, Tebogo, in that order.
Refilo Seboko from Newsroom Africa. MEC, maybe this question to you, just a follow-up. Is there a timeline, or how long will it take before you ensure that payment has been done? You are indicating that service providers just want to know when money will be getting into their accounts. Also, you made mention of thanking and showing gratitude to the service providers by continuing to provide transport to learners, but there are still learners that are affected, those that are still walking, that we were able to engage with from as far as Makubung into Mahorokoi, and they were making reference to, among other things, concern about their safety, but also the challenge that they get to school late, and which then says there are still learners that are affected. How are they going to be assisted? Another thing, just the last question, I think there was also an issue about the service providers themselves submitting invoices. Kabunzi. How is the department planning on dealing with or solving that challenge that you have picked up?
Okay, thanks, Fifi. May I suggest that your question is more administrative, that then HOD will address it. Thank you. Then MC and HOD.
Yeah.
Oh no, ha ke na potso, ne ke nagana dipotso ne di fitile, ne ke re Mokhuduthamaga ka re sobokanyetsa ka Setswana. Okay.
Yeah, the one of how long, but I think the CFO had addressed it, but I think reiterate on
Look, our intent is to pay all invoices within 30 days. That's the standard. It's not even intent, it's the law, that we must pay 30, invoices within 30 days. As the CFO said, for the December coming through into the new financial year, we had cash flow challenges, but all those invoices were on the system, and when payments were supposed to happen, that's when we had this technical glitch with BES. So we still keep our 30 days payment notice for all invoices. But what then happens with Scholar is that for the following month, like for the month of April, they will invoice in May. The 7th of every month, that's when invoices come trickling in. But in relation to those providers that bulk their invoices and bring them all at once, we have also said we need to go back to our SLA and made an amendment because they need to stick to the 30 days and the date that has been prescribed for them, because this also affects our cash flow. We know how much we are planning for the month to pay in terms of what is before us. And somebody else comes and put about invoices that are beyond what would have budgeted for that particular provider for that particular month. It also creates glitches in our financial planning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, HOD. Is that all? Okay, HOD, we would give them a one-on-one for that, or do you like MEC to do it here? All right, okay. MEC.
Yeah.